It's the beginning of season 6 of Locked On Anaheim Ducks, and I'm here live at the Los Angeles Rookie Showcase. And we're going to talk about the first couple of days as far as the Ducks are concerned in this Rookie Showcase. We'll break all that down in this edition of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That's right. How's it going, everyone? I'm your host, Jason Hernandez, and welcome to season 6 of Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, I'm your host, Jason Hernandez. I've been covering hockey for over a decade, and this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5. That's $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So season 6, guys. Yeah, I first started this podcast exactly 5 years ago, and I've done 5 full seasons of Locked On Ducks. And now we're just moving on, cruising on into season 6 and hoping that the Ducks can fare better this season because, look, I've been doing this for 5 going on 6 seasons. They've got to make some improvements, right? They've got to. But you know what? I'm actually very excited about this season. I feel like this is the season that's really going to begin to turn things around for the Ducks. And my pledge to you, the fans, is to try to give you the best content possible all season long. That is my pledge. And hopefully I can get a lot more fans to join in on the ride. So here we go. Season 6. Let's get started and talk about the Rookie Faceoff. As you saw on that fancy little intro. Yeah, I've been in El Segundo the past few days, and this is going to be kind of a shorter episode because I got to get back to it this morning as it uploads. It'll be this morning. There will be a couple more or 3 more games Monday in El Segundo at the Ducks Rookie Faceoff. I know I said something different in the intro, but it's the Rookie Faceoff, folks. And the Ducks have already played 2 games. The Kraken are done, by the way. I mean, some of the Firebirds, they're already heading home. So, yeah, that's something that already happened. But we're not going to talk about those other teams. No, maybe for like a brief minute towards the end. But this is Locked On Ducks. We're going to talk about the young Ducks prospects. And I do want to give a little bit of a caveat here. I know this is only a rookie face-off, and it is exciting to watch some live hockey again. And I totally get that fans have been jonesing for some kind of live hockey. I completely get it. Talking to several fans there, I mean, they've been waiting for this for a long, long, long time. That being said, I take some stock in these tournaments. I'm not saying it is the end all be all of all tournaments, but I'm not going to completely disregard it either. I'm somewhere like kind of in the middle where I take some stock in it, and there are some takeaways to be had in these rookie faceoffs. The good players, they're supposed to play good. That's a takeaway. The goalies, yes, there's going to be some takeaways there. So I just want to give that brief caveat. That being said, Cutter Gauthier has been pretty effing good so far in his 2 games so far in this rookie faceoff. In 2 games, I would say Cutter Gauthier, to me, has been the best player for the Ducks so far. Even so much so that he wore the captain's C. He wore the captain's C for the 2nd game. And he's got 3 points so far in this rookie faceoff. Before I get into just specific players, another big takeaway that I want to get to here is the toughness. The toughness of this Ducks team is paramount. Greg Cronin wants some tough guys on his team, and he's got it. GM Pat Verbeek, he wanted size, he wanted strength, and he got it. Definitely based on the first couple of games, there's been a bit of rough stuff, a couple of pretty gnarly fights on there, which I will talk about in a second. But even just looking at like all the penalties the Ducks have taken, and the first game, not so much. The second game, there was a pretty good fight that took place. Yeah. And there's been some hard checks along those first couple of games as well. So that is an encompassing takeaway, is that these are the kind of players that the GM is building, that the coach is building. They do have a plan and they are building towards something. And I think something that they are building towards is they are not going to be pushed around. They are not going to let I can talk, folks. They're not going to let their more talented players get pushed around. Some of these bigger bodies are going to get in there, and they're going to put it eloquently, they're going to F crap up. That's what they're going to do. Radko Gudas, he's there to beat up some guys. Stian Solberg, he's not even in this rookie faceoff. He's going to play overseas next season. But when he comes to the States and when he comes to the Ducks organization, he's going to start throwing down. And then you have Connor Smith. Oh, boy. And he's a big, big guy, by the way. Really big. And that's what the Ducks wanted. That's what the Ducks organization wanted. They wanted size and strength. That's going to be fine for me, especially down in San Diego. You've got quite a few skilled guys that are going to put up a lot of points this season. There's not going to be enough room for all these great players on the Ducks. So some of this youth movement is going to marinate a little bit longer in San Diego. So that is kind of an all-encompassing takeaway. There is one more game. I cannot wait to see what happens on this game. It's a 3:30 start time. Kings versus Ducks. I can't wait. Hopefully, I will see some of you guys there. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take our first intermission right now. We will break down those first two games, and then I will give my best impressions and takeaways at the very end, as well as some other impressions, takeaways from other teams in this rookie face-off. So we'll get to all of that on the other side. And now a brief word from FanDuel. And folks, if you haven't used FanDuel before, then what are you waiting for? Because you've heard us talk about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And we've got something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out of market game. All you'll need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. And that 3-week trial, last I checked the calendar, there were no Ducks games for the next 3 weeks. So this is the perfect time to get in on the action right now. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. Once again, that is FanDuel. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, you're locked in with Jason Hernandez on this season 6 debut. Oh man, almost 1,000 shows, folks. Almost 1,000, if you can believe that. I'm excited to get there. I'm hoping to get many guests on that 1,000 show. In the meantime, let's go ahead and break down those first couple of games. First, I want to talk about that game against Colorado that took place in rink number 2, not the main rink. Rink 2, kind of in the back end. By the way, I will be doing PA in rink 2 this morning. That's going to be the Vegas Utah game. So if you're there, check it out. If you want to see it online, check it out. But we're not going to talk about those teams. No, siree. We're talking about Ducks and Avalanche prospects. And that was a game that had a lot of back and forth. I would say that was one of the better games for a couple of players in particular, which I'll get to momentarily. But the way this one broke down, first, it was Alexander Blaze, who just put up a terrific shot to make it 1-0 Ducks. First period, it was all goaltending. except for that Alex Blagel. And that one was just kind of put in from like the faceoff dot right from Petra. And it was like a super fast shot, like a blink and you'll miss it. And it became 1-0. I want to talk about Callie Klang for a second. He was very strong those first 20 minutes. He saw 10 shots, stopped all of them. But overall, even in the second period, he looked just as strong, if not better. The only thing that I'm going to have some caution about, yes, the Ducks did get bigger. Yes, they have size. But, and this is something that has been repeated over and over again the past couple of seasons, they still need to work on discipline a little bit. And I think they will get there this season. And that is something that is going to be stressed big time this season, is they have got to stay out of the penalty box, because both games, that penalty kill, I'm just going to be like really, really honest. The penalty kill, not that great, unfortunately, because during that time, you had Colorado put up some pretty nifty goals. And especially like after like a good power play that Colorado has, it goes all the way down to like their main team. And it goes all the way down to their AHL team. And it goes down throughout their whole system. Colorado, as far as NHL, AHL, they've always had pretty solid power play movement. And it's really about the movement, folks. That Carey Terrence penalty that he took, that was not a good one, folks. And that led directly to a Colorado power play there as well. So I know on the score sheet it says 3 out of 4. It's actually 2 power play goals, but that's still too many, folks. You cannot give up that many power play goals in a game. And that I cannot put on Callie Klang. He did see a lot of shots. Actually, it was so fast paced in that second period. And I did point this out on, I don't think I said it on X, but I remember saying it kind of loudly at the end of the second period, going, damn, these guys are moving. They're really moving. And there was like passes left and right. Jackson Weeb, he had a sure goal in like such a back and forth, and he just got absolutely robbed on a great, brilliant diving play from Vinny Duplessis. Just robbed. And then the other way, there was another breakaway that was stopped by Callie Klang, who looked really good. And then Sasha Pastujov, he got robbed on the power play as well. So I did point out that there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of high quality scoring chances that just did not go answered. Absolutely didn't go answered. But it was at least, good with a great no-look pass midway through the second period. Just a sick pass from Carey Terrence to Tyson Hines. And by the way, Sasha Pastujov got the secondary apple on that one. That made it 2-0 Anaheim Baby Ducks. And then Colorado started doing well on the power play, as we kind of expected. Jason Poland scored on the power play, made it 2-1 Ducks. And then after that, it was the Cutter freaking Gauthier show. So the goal that he got was kind of a fluky goal, but the way he got into the zone. Well, first off, the power play goal, it was a tic-tac-toe goal for the Avs. I mean, it was literally exactly 5 minutes left, and it was tic-tac-toe power play. Look, Callie Klang, you can't do anything about that. And then Cutter Gauthier just gliding his way into the offensive zone with such ease. That made it 3-1 Anaheim. And then after that, Max Karan scored. Then Igor Sidorov scored on a pretty nifty goal. And I'm excited for Sidorov to make it to the San Diego goals. He's going to provide some offense for the goals in general. So that made it kind of close. Then after that, Oscar Olesen scored. That one was on the power play. Final score was 4-3. Callie Klang stopped 39 of 42 shots, but the Ducks outshot him 47-42 shots in the second period. And I think this is accurate because it was a blistering pace. Shots on goal in the second period, 26-15 in favor of the Ducks. Oi, that was a lot. Second game, we won't talk about a whole lot because the Ducks just got lambasted on this one. Just to put it mildly, 7-2, San Jose Sharks beat the Anaheim Ducks. Quentin Musty, he had himself a hat trick on this game. He was brilliant on this one. Remember how I said the Ducks couldn't stay out of the penalty box? Well, the Ducks allowed 3 power play goals out of 3 chances. And I know this because I said, oh, here we go again. And they allowed yet another power play goal. Not all on Vyacheslav Buchet's, who, by the way, I do want to point this out. So this was Buchet's first ever in-game action in North America. So Buchet's, by the way, he comes from a great place that I think is awesome. So he comes from Chelyabinsk, Russia. And he's played pretty much his entire life, his entire career, even his under 16 career, all in Chelyabinsk in Russia. Under 16, under 17, under 18, even in the MHL, the KHL, the VHL. He spent almost his entire life just in that little region. So I imagine him being away from his home for the first extended time period. I mean, yes, that is going to be it's going to be emotional, folks. So yes, he did give up 7 goals, but this was his first game in North America. This was his first game on a North American sheet. He's used to that Olympic size rinks out in Russia, so a little bit wider rink. So I'm sure the sight lines are going to be a little bit different for him, and it is going to be an adjustment. And I'm really fascinated to see what he does in the coming seasons. I don't expect him to make the AHL right away. I would expect maybe the next year or two to be spent in the ECHL to really polish his game, really build his confidence, get him going. So that's what I'm hoping for. I was hoping that he would allow fewer goals because I was rooting for the kid. Because like I said, first time playing in North America, that's got to be a massive, massive deal for him. And, just good on him to get out there and do the best he can. Unfortunately, the defense didn't help him a whole lot in this game. They really didn't. All right. That's kind of my breakdown on those first couple of games. I will have some impressions and takeaways on those 2 games and the whole rookie face-off in general after the second intermission. Stay locked in, folks. There we go. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks Season 6 debut with Jason Hernandez. And we're going to talk all about the rookie face-off. So one more time, just want to thank you all for the past few seasons and thank you all for the well wishes when I was, having some health stuff earlier in the summer. But I want to thank you all. And I am trying to come back stronger than ever. That's what I'm hoping for, folks. All right. So my impressions and takeaways. I'm going to start with the goaltending. Calle Clang looked really good. I would even argue that he should probably be the number 1 goalie for the San Diego Gulls this season. I know there was a big wrench thrown in the loop with the injury to Tomas Suchanek this offseason. And Suchanek, as we covered on a previous podcast, he's going to be out for a number of months, will likely miss the entire regular season. They did sign Oscar Dansk, who recently played with the Calgary Wranglers of the AHL. So now you have this kind of dueling of goalies. You have Calle Clang, who looked really good against Colorado, despite all those shots that he saw. He saw 42 freaking shots, stopped 39 of them. He was impressive. Then you have Oscar Dansk, who has been the backup to 2-time goalie of the year and league MVP Dustin Wolf. So Dansk hasn't had a whole lot of time. He is also 30 plus. So he's a bit on the older side, but he is experienced and he does know what it takes to be on a winning team. We saw that with Calgary the past couple of seasons. So he knows what it takes. He has the experience. I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar Dansk is the opening night starter, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Callie Klang winds up playing more games during the season. Both can be true. And then there's the inevitable question: what if John Gibson or Lukáš Dostal gets hurt during the season? Which of those guys will move up? I'm okay with Callie Klang getting called up personally, because I believe Klang can move down and up and he can get past waivers, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look closely on that. But I believe that Callie Klang can move down and therefore should get at least a few games as backup, as an emergency backup, just in case. And I did like his game. Buchetz, look, he's young, he's learning, first time on a North American sheet. He's going to learn. He's absolutely going to learn this game. 32 shots, he only stopped 25 of them, but 3 of those were on the power play. So I'm not going to put those on him. In fact, I would say that Buchetz, for about 40 minutes, he looked pretty solid in nets, if I'm going to be completely honest. That third period, everything kind of broke down, but that was mainly because the Ducks took a lot of penalties. And then there was a fight. And can I talk about this fight for a second? Because I did want to talk about it at some point. So I figured now is the time to talk about it. And I'll put a little video in there. There was a spirited fight between Braden Haish of the San Jose Baby Sharks and Connor Smith of Anaheim. Now, here's the tale of the tape. Braden Haish, actually, if I pronounce that correctly now. Braden is 6'3", 210. Connor Smith is 6'6", 215. So he's got a little bit of height on him, a little bit of a better reach. As you may have just saw in the video, Connor Smith beat the crap out of him. He got a couple of good punches and then one solid punch. That last one did land. That one absolutely landed and brought Braden down. I mean, talk about a spirited fight. That was it. Was everyone going kind of nuts as far as the fans? Yeah, they were. And this kind of speaks to the size that the Ducks are looking for. That speaks to the toughness. If Connor Smith can do that for the San Diego Gulls this season, then I think the Gulls will be all right. They could always use a couple of heavy hitters here and there. And I'm here for it. I'm just saying I'm absolutely here for it. So I guess for that aspect, I was impressed by Connor Smith, knowing that he can fight a little bit. That was kind of fun. A couple players that I liked on this one. Slight bias here, but I thought Sasha Pastujov did a great job. He did wear a letter. He's good. He really came into his own the second half of last season in San Diego. And so far, he has had a pretty solid rookie faceoff. Do I think that Pastujov is going to make the Ducks anytime soon? Unfortunately, I don't think there's any room for Pastujov the way that the roster is constructed right now. But there is quite a bit of upside. His skating has gotten better, folks. Looking at Sasha this year compared to last year, he has worked his butt off. Like, I can certainly tell on the ice, he has been working very hard. Skating's gotten better. The decision-making has gotten better also, by the way. So I like what I've seen from Sasha Pastujov so far. Someone else that I really liked, obviously, is Cutter Gauthier. He is the best player on this Ducks prospects team. I mean, he had a pretty nice kind of fluky goal, but his goal in the second game was a laser that just blew by everybody. I could hear the scouts to my right. I could hear someone go, whoa, like he's got something there. I heard the chatter. I heard what people were saying. a lot of folks are very impressed by Cutter Gauthier, and why wouldn't they be? On that second game, Cutter Gauthier did wind up with 1 point, that goal. The other game, he did wind up with a goal and an assist. So he got 3 points so far. Sasha got an apple on that first game. And then after that, nothing on there. But he's looked good so far. A couple other players that I do want to highlight. Sam Colangelo is looking polished out there. He's looking a little bit better than I anticipated. So I'm really curious to see what he does coming up. Tyson Hines, I think, has looked good as well. And if I'm going to single out one other guy, Tristan Luneau has looked pretty solid defensively so far. So I've liked his game quite a bit. It should be pointed out that Luneau did wear the captaincy in game 1, and Cutter Gauthier wore the captain's C in game 2. So I'm really curious who's going to wear the C for game 3 as they take on the Los Angeles Kings. Once again, that's a 3:30 start time. You can find that on AnaheimDucks.com with the great Steve Carroll and the fantastic Emerson Edom. Both those guys are going to be there. They've both been there all weekend long. I've said this several times, and I will say it again. Steve Carroll and Emerson Edom are two of the best in the business. They do a great job on the radio on Duck Stream. I will listen to the radio stream all year long, literally all year long. That stream has been great. That radio tandem has been fantastic. So I will always advocate for the radio guys for the Anaheim Ducks. So they will be there later today as well. Other takeaways just in general. Quentin Musty had himself a game. He got a hat trick on this one. Really kind of neat moment. I mentioned this on Twitter X. I'll just point it out right here. So after Quentin Musty got his hat trick, there was a fan in an Arizona Coyotes jersey that was wearing a Sharks cap, and he tossed the cap to the Quentin Musty family. So Musty had family there, by the way, and I could hear the cheering behind me as this was taking place. And she just tossed it right back to the fan and said, "It's okay, but I appreciate it." That was kind of a sweet gesture. That was a cool little moment. Because of that netting, you can't exactly toss hats onto the ice. But the fact that this fan found the family and just kind of had a cool moment and they appreciated it, that's kind of like a nice little clap there. So I'll give credit where credit is due. And it's reasons like that why I just love hockey. I love hockey so much, little moments like that. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Kraken prospects. Logan Morrison looked terrific in his one game. Kraken overall, Coco, I think, is going to be the goaltender for the Firebirds backup next season. He looked solid in net. So I like what Seattle's doing as far as their prospects. They are loading up for the Firebirds yet again. So that's going to be very good. Other teams, Utah, without Tijagindla, it's a little bit lacking on the firepower, but they still got some solid prospects here and there. Same with Vegas. The Kings have a couple of good lines, but they are lacking the depth a little bit. So I think if the Ducks are going to beat them, they're going to have to beat those third and fourth lines because the Kings rookies are not as deep as it used to be. The prospect pool isn't as deep as it used to be, but there is some top end quality on that Kings rookie side on the other side. So that's been my impressions and takeaways so far. And I'm going to have a lot more over the next few days, especially after it's concluded. So be sure to stay tuned for that because I'm going to have a lot more to talk about on tomorrow's podcast. In the meantime, that's going to do it. Once again, thank you all for listening. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter X at StimpyJD. The show's Twitter X is at LO_Ducks. And once again, just thank you all so much for the support. Thanks for the kind words. I really very much appreciate it. And let's make season 6 the best season of Locked On Ducks ever. That's my pledge, folks. That being said, for Locked On Anaheim Ducks, I'm Jason J.D. Hernandez saying have a great rest of the day. Hope to see you at the Rookie Faceoff. Please remember to be safe out there. Please be kind to one another. and ducks and baby ducks fly together. Yes, sir. Baby ducks.